Ethan Thorne crouched behind a crumbling wall, sweat mingling with the dirt on his face. Explosions shook the ground, and blaster fire lit up the sky. His breath came in quick gasps, his heart pounding in his ears. Just ahead, through the haze of smoke, he saw her, an injured alien girl, barely conscious, clutching her swollen belly. "Hold on," he yelled, dashing towards her. The girl's eyes fluttered open, filled with a mix of fear and hope. She was different from any alien Ethan had seen. Her skin a soft lavender, eyes large and luminous. She whispered something in a language she didn't understand, but the desperation in her voice was universal. "Don't worry, I got you," he reassured, scooping her up gently. As he turned to find shelter, a shadow loomed over them. Ethan looked up to see a Kragar patrol, their reptilian faces twisted in malicious glee. "Human scum." One hissed, "Leave her and run if you value your life." Ethan set his jaw, drawing his weapon. Not a chance. Chapter 2. The Desperate Escape. Blaster fire erupted around them as Ethan sprinted towards an abandoned outpost. He could feel the girl's faint breaths against his chest, her life slipping away with each step. Reaching the outpost, he barricaded the door and laid her down gently. "You're safe now," he murmured, grabbing his medkit. "What's your name?" "Lyra," she whispered, her voice weak but clear. "My name is Lyra." Ethan worked quickly, cleaning and bandaging her wounds. "We need to get you out of here, Lyra. Do you have family?" Lyra shook her head. "No, but I have something important. Information about the Kragar. They plan something terrible. Then we need to get you to the Alliance," Ethan said, determination hardening his features. "But first, you need to rest." As Lyra drifted into an uneasy sleep, Ethan kept watch, his mind racing. The Kragar wouldn't stop until they found her. They had to move fast. The next morning, the outpost's scanners detected a massive Kragar force closing in. Ethan's heart sank. They were running out of time. Chapter 3. Allies and Adversaries. Ethan and Lyra moved through the rugged terrain, the weight of their mission pressing down on them. Lyra's condition made the journey slow, but her resolve was unshakable. "We're close," Ethan said, scanning the horizon. "The Alliance safe zone should be just ahead." Suddenly, they stumbled upon a group of survivors, a ragtag band of different species, all bearing the scars of war. At their head was Lyra, a seasoned strategist with piercing green eyes. "We need to get to the safe zone," Ethan explained. "She has vital information." Lyra nodded. "We'll help, but we need to move quickly. The Kragar are relentless." As they journeyed together, Ethan and Lyra grew to trust their new allies. Lyra devised a risky plan to outmaneuver the Kragar, using the terrain to their advantage. "We all have something to fight for," Lyra said, rallying the group. "Together, we stand a chance." Just as hope began to take root, a Kragar elite unit ambushed them. At its head was Commander Zorath, his eyes gleaming with cruel satisfaction. Thorne Zorath sneered. "I had been waiting for this." Chapter 4. The Battle for Survival. Trapped in a narrow canyon, Ethan and his allies faced overwhelming odds. The Kragar forces pressed in from all sides, and the air was thick with tension. "We have to hold them off," Ethan shouted, his voice barely audible over the din of battle. "Use the terrain to our advantage." The group fought valiantly, their unity and combined skills shining through. Ethan's strategic mind worked overtime, directing their efforts with precision. Lyra, despite her condition, provided critical support, her knowledge of the Kragar proving invaluable. "There's a weak point in their formation," she pointed out. "If we hit them there, we can break through." With renewed vigor, Ethan led the charge. Blaster fire crackled, and the smell of burning metal filled the air. One by one, the Kragar fell, but just as victory seemed within reach, Zorath captured Lyra, his grip cruel and unyielding. "Surrender, or she dies," Zorath growled, pressing a blade to Lyra's throat. Ethan stood facing Zorath, every muscle tense, every nerve on edge. The fate of Lyra, and the vital information she carried, hung in the balance. "You underestimate us," Ethan said, his voice steady despite the storm of emotions raging within him. "And that's your downfall." A fierce battle ensued, Ethan and Zorath locked in a deadly dance of strength and strategy. Ethan's allies fought valiantly, keeping the Kragar at bay, while Ethan focused on freeing Lyra. With a final desperate move, Ethan outmaneuvered Zorath, knocking the blade from his hand and securing Lyra's freedom. The battle raged on around them, but Ethan's determination never wavered. "Get to safety," he urged Lyra, his eyes never leaving Zorath's. "I'll hold them off." As Lyra moved to safety, Ethan and his allies made their final stand. The ruins around them crumbled, the ground shaking with the force of the conflict. Just as it seemed they might prevail, Zorath triggered a last-ditch effort to destroy the ruins and everyone in them. Ethan's heart pounded as he realized the danger. "Go," he shouted to his team. "We need to get out of here now." Racing against time, Anakin and his allies make their escape, the ruins collapsing behind them. As they reached safety, the weight of their victory settled in. They had survived, but the war was far from over.